Welcome back to the Justice Conference Asia 2014. I'm here with Tina Ramirez, and you've just been talking to us a lot about religious freedom and religious oppression. And could you just tell us what actually is religious oppression all about?
Yeah, well, many people, when they start, just look at religious freedom and think of their own religious communities. But what we do is we look at the oppression, the injustice. And what the injustice is it's when governments and societies try to restrict an individual's freedom to believe and to choose what to believe. They do that in a couple of ways. One is by imposing a certain belief or by suppressing their ability to believe anything. So you see this anywhere from Islamic societies like Saudi Arabia to atheist countries like communist China.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's certainly been a lot of, I would say, speculation or belief that actually religion, maybe in some of its extreme forms, has actually been the cause of a lot of oppression or religious oppression around the world. Is that right, or is that not true?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you're right. What we see is that both religion being a culprit and the suppression of religion being a culprit. And there's got to be something in between where there's a neutral space for people to be who God's made them to be, to search for some transcendent truth and to coexist with people of different beliefs. But when governments and societies don't want people to have their own ideas and beliefs, that's when we see these controls. And it comes from religious governments as much as secular governments.
And you've dedicated your life to this, so I know you really believe in it. So why do you think that religious freedom is so important, so vital to humans?
Yeah, well, as I've looked at conflict around the world, from the genocide in Sudan to trafficking and other issues, what I found is that at the root is religious oppression, and that unless those societies can have the freedom to freedom of belief, of conscience, of religion, that they won't be able to challenge the religious systems that are oppressing them or the secular systems that are preventing them from being who they want to be. So without that freedom, you really can't break through the injustice.
Right. And what do you see today that gives you a lot of hope? Some breakthroughs or just things that you see that you think there's just a lot of hope there?
Yeah, we've worked on so many different issues over the years, but most recently the thing that's brought us hope is in Sudan, where we see this woman that's been imprisoned, and yet in the midst of that, unlike every other country where there are apostasy laws and people are sentenced to death for this, in Sudan we have Muslims and Christians and animists and people of all different beliefs and backgrounds standing together in this woman's defense because they understood that religious freedom was the antidote to the oppression of President Bashir and these laws that are being imposed on them. They recognized that as women or as ethnic minorities, whether they're from Darfur or the Nuba Mountains, that no one will be free unless everybody has the freedom of conscience. So they're all standing behind her and they're defending it. They're asking for the criminal code to be changed. They're asking for it in the Constitution. This is a huge movement, and it's unlike anything we've seen in Sudan in the last 30 plus years or in the world in a country where they have these laws.
That is so exciting and so inspiring, and we're really looking forward to hearing more from you this afternoon. Thank you so much for being at the Justice Conference this year.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.